you do whatever you do in a way that contributes to your environment. And the only way to do that is to be good at what you do, right?
Oh, yeah.
So as a stand-up, so then, okay, we take that idea and put it on, with stand-up, right? The only way I can contribute to my society or the world as a stand-up is to be good at stand-up, to get to the peak of my career, right? To get to become one of the most respected stand-ups in the world, to become a stand-up that tours and does big theaters around the world, to be a stand-up who puts out a special and lots of people see it, so that what I'm saying can impact a lot of people, because I care about my stand-up meaning something, being funny, but also meaning something. Like at the moment, I'm working on a bit about how people badmouth refugees. Like when you bring in refugees, criminals are going to come here as well, or terrorists are going to come here as well. And I'm working on a bit right now that goes, homie, that's wrong.
That's not the wrong.
That's untrue.
Yeah.
But the only way that bit that I care about is going to impact the most people is if I get good at my craft. And the only way I'm going to get good at my craft is constantly be doing it, hustling. So that it's less about the money. It's less about the fame. It's less about the recognition. It's less about the TV deals. And it's more about getting to the peak of my career, not for selfish reasons, but I can have more impact. I want to get to the peak of my career and I want to make crazy money, not so I can have crazy money at the peak of my career, so I can bring up other people like me and so that they can succeed as well. Because you probably know this, being a brown person, being a Middle Eastern person, being an Asian person, you're always on the back foot in a Western society. And
yeah, I'd say to an extent. To an extent, yeah.
For sure. And if I can be someone who opens the door a little bit for someone who is like me and feels like they can't get in the door, then that's what excites me. That's what makes me go, nah, don't stop. When I think about the money and stuff, that is nice and it comes with the hard work.
Of course, yeah.
I don't want to act like I don't want to act like friggin' like Mother Teresa out there like.
Of course,
no, I'm Gandhi status with my friggin'. No, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't like the money. But the real thing that I love it. Of course. No, I'm just saying. Like the Middle Eastern is always in there, right? I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's what really motivates me.
Yeah.
Is that stuff. The being able to be on like Chappelle's level, where when Chappelle puts out a comedy special, the world watches it and what he says really impacts society, you know?
Yeah.
That's what makes me go, damn, like I want to keep
what I've seen is like, I've watched, Joe Rogan, Chappelle, Hassan Minhaj, all these, they have like they convey a bigger meaning, a bigger message.
100%.
Chappelle's, he did a sort of joke on cops stopping him.
Yeah.
But there was a bigger meaning to that,
100, yeah.
And people that are cops that are listening to that, they realize that that's really a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about, art in your form as well, is that you can convey such an abstract and complicated and political message in a way that people could really reciprocate with.
Yeah, 100.
And that's fucking powerful.
Yeah, man.
Not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on.
Yeah.
Is because let's dive into that.
Yeah.
What is, what are the bigger meanings? Like,
what is my agenda?
Yeah, for these gigs.
Yeah.
What is the bigger meaning do you want to convey to New Zealand in general?
Yeah.
What other problems do you reckon it is?
I don't think that I have a clear idea of what the issues are. Like, I don't have a list at home of like, here are the problems, you know what I mean? Like, white people devil, like there's that, like I'm not like that, I just assess my life at the time. I assess my environment, and I think about what is frustrating me sometimes I even think about what am I happy about. Like I have a whole like 10 minutes about how much I love South Auckland, because I lived in South Auckland for a long time. How much I love South Auckland. And that bit is just about, it's celebratory, It just celebrates South Auckland, but it's like a really funny bit. But then sometimes I'll sit down and go, what's annoying me right now? And I overheard two guys talking about, one guy said, if you let in the refugees, you let in the terrorists, right? And that frustrated me, because my father's a refugee, my mother's a refugee. So then that annoyed me, and that spurred me to go, you know what? I'm closer to the refugee community than these two white guys are. I'm going to shed some light, because that's what I care about. That's what I care about right now. So that's kind of my approach. Is I let the world around me and how I feel about the world at that time kind of drive what I want to say.
Yeah.
So that refugee one is a really good example of that. Or like another bit I have, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the bit that kind of went viral. It's my only kind of viral bit. But it's about how
9/11?
I had to... Huh?
It was about the 9/11 one?
Yeah.
Fuck, that was crack.
How I had to pretend to be something else.
Tell us the story, actually.
Well, if you go back and watch it, the joke is the story. But my reality was that I'm a South Asian Iranian kid, half Middle Eastern, half South Asian. And at that time, when 9/11 pops off, being those things is the uncoolest thing you could possibly be. To the point where you're like miserable. You don't want to go to school, right? So I literally, in my joke, I said that I pretended to be Tongan for all of primary school. And that's no joke. That's real.
Fuck.
Like I told everyone I was Tongan. and people thought I was Tongan.
Well, you don't look not Tongan. Like.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. People were just like, that's just a Tongan that doesn't get fed enough. That's a Tongan that doesn't eat enough taro. You know what I mean? Like the skinny Indian-looking kid, but like he's Tongan. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, that's the Tongan that doesn't get the ball passed to him on the rugby field. Oh, skip pass, another skip pass. Sweet.
Yeah.
So like that was my reality, and that when I sat down and thought about what annoyed me, I remembered that time. I remembered how sad I felt, and then I remembered like, damn, like I actually worked hard to be Tongan, and so I started writing about that. So that's kind of like. I don't list down the things that I think are wrong and I'm going to tell the world, you know, like it's more about how I feel about the world and I want to express myself and tell the world that I think these things, I'm highlighting what I think is inconsistent with what I believe. And sometimes I'm highlighting what I love. Yeah. Just depends on how I feel.
That's fucking powerful because like, you know, you have such a good platform as well. To convey these ideas.
I think stand-up is one of the best platforms.
I think so. Like, you know, everyone's there. Like, and I think, you know, one of the best ways, this is what I talked about in that speech I did for the Baha'i community, is empathy. Yeah, man. As like, you can't tell someone they're wrong to their face, but you got to show them, you know, step in this shoe and see it from this perspective. Yeah. You know, because if you go to a racist person, like a truly redneck fucking racist, like fuck the Muslims, all this shit. Yeah. You can't be like, no, you're fucking wrong, like, because it'll just clash. Yeah,
but nothing actually moves.
Yeah, but if you're like, you know, but have you looked at these Muslims? Have you seen these? Yeah, and then you sort of create that dialogue. Yeah, which is, you know, being Muslim, growing up, like, you know, my mum had a lot of like abuse, my sisters, and you know, a lot of the people in the community. Yeah, like, fuck, I remember I was in.
Do they cover?
Yeah. Yeah. Not the full, but yeah. So I was in Australia and we were on a holiday. Yeah. And we had this lake. Everyone's having a good time, you know, me and my cousins, the you know, the ladies on the other part. And they didn't know I was part of that. And I was sort of sitting down between these fucking rednecks. Yeah. Not fucking rednecks. Yeah. But I was sitting down. And
you gotta be understanding to these fucking rednecks.
Okay, I was there. And I was sitting down and I remember these two behind me. They were like, because this is when, you know that Melbourne thing? Yeah. Okay, this is exactly that time. Yeah. And in the radios, they were like, you know, telling people if you see any suspicious behavior.
Are you in Australia at the time?
I'm in Australia. I'm sitting in there. Yeah. And I turned back and they were talking about my family there. You know, all the women there. They're like, you know, look at them. They look like terrorists. Let's call someone. Yeah. And I was sitting there. I was like, fuck. Yeah. This was the first time I actually heard or experienced such hatred. Such, and they were serious. They weren't joking about it. Yeah. They were like fucking serious. And I was like, man, that's fucking sad. Like, and that's when I saw that people, they're really fixing that mindset that, you know, they think that way because they think this is the right way. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, you know. But they haven't seen my family. They don't know my family. Don't know, you know, they don't know why we came to this country because of the same exact shit. Yeah, you know, we were getting blown up. Yeah. We were getting slaughtered. Yeah, like they don't realize that. Yeah, and it's pretty sad. And you know, for you to like use your platform and you know discuss stuff like this is like fucking powerful.
Well,
man.
you hit it right on the head, bro. Like the whole idea of like being confrontational, I don't think has gotten anyone anywhere. But comedy, I feel like, is the least confrontational because once you get someone laughing, the barrier comes down.